Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Kashtira deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck just with its first wave of support. This deck is super fun to be able to play with just the amount of rank 7s that you can make with this deck. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name skipped for a single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Fenrir is a definite 3-of in the deck and is an absolutely crazy powerful card, and all of your Kashtira main deck monsters actually share a common effect, that if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you only use each of the following effects of each one of your Kashtira monsters once per turn. But that is an absolutely insane effect that you can just instantly special summon them out to your side of the field, like Cyber Dragons. But this card has the ability that during your main phase, you can add a Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. And when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent's monster activates an effect, except during the damage step, you can target one face-up card that your opponent controls and banish it face down, which is great for this deck to have spot removal. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Unicorn. The Unicorn is a definite 3-of in the deck and one of the most powerful cards in the deck, because it has the ability that during your main phase, you can add a Kashtira spell from your deck to your hand. And when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent's monster activates its effect, except during the damage step, you can look at your opponent's extract, and if you do, banish one monster from it face down, which is extremely powerful, especially if your opponent's only playing one of their key combo piece or boss monster in the extract. This card can deal with it before it even hits the field. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Ogre. This card is a definite 3-of, and I really like playing 3 of each of the Kashtira monsters because they all special summon themselves to the field and they all add either spells, traps, or monsters. With your copy of Ogre having the ability that during your main phase you can add a Kashtira trap from your deck to your hand. And when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent's monster activates its effect except during the damage step, you can excavate the top 5 cards from the top of your opponent's deck and banish one excavated card face down, and place the rest on the top of the deck in the same order, which is a really good effect because it gives you some knowledge of what your opponent's going to be drawing into, while also dealing with key combo pieces that your opponent might play in their deck. We then play 3 copies of the Ascendant of Thunder. This card is a great card to be able to special summon to your side of the field, with a really easy summoning requirement that you can special summon this card from your hand by paying 3,000 life points, which is a really easy cost in this particular game to be able to instantly just throw this level 7 on your side of the field to make some rank 7 plays. We then play 3 copies of Astral Karibo. Astral Karibo is a really good 3-of in the deck that's super easy to summon to your side of the field by just revealing a number XZ monster from your extract and then special summoning this card to your side of the field, making its level equal to the rank of the monster that you revealed. So for example, if I reveal a rank 7 that's a number monster in my extract, I can special summon this card to my side of the field as a level 7 monster, which is really cool to be able to just get this card on your side of the field so you can make some rank 7 plays. But while it's on your side of the field face up, you can only summon number XZ monsters, and a number XZ monster uses this monster as a material, gains the following effect, that it cannot be destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effects, which is a great effect for your monsters to have as a little bit of a bonus for using this card as a material. We then play a really awesome surprise tech card that we're going to play Guess That Card with. So I'm going to lay this card face down and then reveal it to you guys in 3, 2, 1, and definitely comment down below what you think this surprise tech card is, and definitely don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this really awesome tech card is, and it's actually going to be the Barrier Statue of Stormwinds, which you guys might be looking at this card and going, wait a minute, that's not a level 7. Well, it's actually easy to summon because of a rank 7 monster, Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon. This card can actually detach a material and then special summon a level 4 winged beast from our deck to our side of the field, which will be the copy of the Barrier Statue of Stormwinds. And it's really easy to put on our side of the field because the copy of the Arsenal Falcon just takes any 2 level 7s to be able to summon it to our side of the field. So it makes it really easy to lock down the opponent with a copy of Stormwinds. We then play 3 copies of Lava Golem. We don't normal summon all that much in this particular deck, so it's really easy to just main deck the Lava Golem to tribute over your opponent's monsters and be able to deal with their field. So this card is a really good board breaker and really easy to deal with as well, especially with your copy of Fenrir's effect. We then play 3 copies of Dimensional Shifter. This card is a really good 3 of in the deck because it basically just makes it so everything that's going to touch the graveyard is banished instead, which is really good right now in today's format. And with this deck not really caring about the graveyard, this card is fantastic in this particular build. I'm then playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. This could be any hand trap that you want it to be, but I really like to make it so the opponent can't touch the deck. This card is a great 3 of in this particular build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is a really good one of right now to be able to just banish cards from your opponent's graveyard. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is really good in this particular deck because we're playing basically a toolbox of rank 7s in this particular deck. So this card can really help us dig into the extra deck and dig into the deck by getting rid of cards out of the extra deck. So this card is a great 3 of in this particular build. And I really like it to be able to just dig 6 cards deep into the main deck so that I can get to the exact cards that I need. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Birth. Kashtira Birth is a really good 3 on the deck that you can search off your copy of Unicorn, and it makes it super easy to get multiple level 7s on the field, because you can normal summon 1 level 7 monster without tributing during your main phase, and you can special summon 1 non-XZ Kashtira monster that's banished or in your graveyard if your opponent activates a spell or effect and you control a Kashtira monster. And you can also target 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard and banish them face down, which is a super powerful card, and this card is a definite 3 of in this particular build. We're then playing 3 copies of Dimensional Fisher. This card is just basically the same thing as Dimension Shifter. We don't really care about the graveyard, and it's just really good this format, so we're definitely going to be playing 3 copies of this card. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Kashtira Preparation. Kashtira Preparation is a really good 2 of in the deck that we can search off our copy of Ogre, but I really like 2 copies of this card just in case I draw into one, I still have something to search off my copy of Ogre. But this card is really good because during either player's turn, you can special summon 1 of your Kashtira monsters that's banished or in your hand. And if your opponent activates a trap card or effect and you control a Kashtira monster, and this card is already face up in your spell and trap card zone, you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, banish 1 card from it face down. And you can only use the effect of this card once per turn. That is an extremely powerful effect to be able to use. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is just a really good hand trap, along with your copies of Ash Blossom and Dimension Shifter, to be able to bring the hand trap lineup to about 9 in this deck, which is really good. But this card is really good to stop your opponent's monster effects, and great to be able to set to your side of the field to be able to lock down columns for spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of the Kashtira XZ monster. This card is a really good 2 of to be able to lock down your opponent's zones, and it's just a fantastic 2 of in this particular deck. This card is extremely powerful and has a really good effect that during each standby phase, you can special summon a Kashtira monster from your deck, which is already an extremely powerful effect for this card to open with. And you can only use the previous effect of Kashtira of this card once per turn. And each time a card your opponent owns and possesses is banished face down except during the damage step, you can choose 1 unused monster zone or spell and trap card zone, and it cannot be used while this monster is face up on the field. And it also has the ability, if this card on the field would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can detach a material from this card instead, giving you some protection on this 3,000 defense point monster that you're usually just throwing in defense position and locking down your opponent. This card is basically like Ojama King, but absolutely crazy because it can lock down your opponent's entire field. cool. We then play 2 copies of number 89, Diabolos the Mind Hacker. This card is the secret boss monster of the deck and is like one of the best cards to combo with your Kashtira XZ monster, because this card has a really good effect that once per turn you can detach material from this card, look at your opponent's X deck, and banish 1 monster from it face down. And at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed a monster at battle, then you can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it face down. And if a card that your opponent owns and possesses is banished face down while you control this card except during the damage step, you can banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down equal to the number of cards banished face down, which is a really good effect to be able to use on this card, because with these 2 cards on the field, you can actually banish 2 and lock down your opponent's field for 2 zones, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Arsenal Falcon. Arsenal Falcon is really good to summon out the copy of the Barrier statue, because it has the ability once per turn, you can detach material from this card to special summon a level 4 Wing Beast monster from your deck, which is always going to be your copy of your Wind Barrier statue to lock down your opponent from special summoning. We then play a single copy of Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, and then a copy of Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overload, which we're always going to make our copy of Rebellion Dragon, and then overlay on top of it a copy of Rebellion Dragon Overload, because it's going to be able to attack 3 times, which is absolutely insane, and you basically just make it like a copy of Utopia the Lightning, which is really easy. We then play a single copy of Flare Metal. Flare Metal is my favorite XZ in the entire game, which is why I love Kashtira so much, and it's just a really good card that every time your opponent breathes, they're going to take 500 points of damage. This card is a definite at least 1-of in this deck and really helps out during time. We then play a single copy of number 76. Number 76 is really good in this deck, and it has a really good effect that this card's attribute is also treated as each of the attached materials attributes, and it cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster with the same attribute, and cannot be destroyed by the activated effects of your opponent's monsters with the same attribute. But it has a quick effect that you can target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard and detach a material from this card, and if you do, attach that target to this card as a material, which is a super good effect, especially up against tier element when they're trying to fusion summon. You can actually quick effect attach the monster that they're attempting to fuse with to this card, and they won't get their fusion summon, which is super cool. We then play a single copy of Big Eye. Big Eye is just one of the best rank 7s in the entire game, because you just detach a material from this card, then you target a monster that your opponent controls, and you take control of it permanently, which is super cool. We then play a single copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack, because generating 2 tokens is still great, and it's one of the best rank 7s ever created. We then play 2 copies of Zeus, because we play so many XZs in this deck, and it's really easy to make double Zeus in this particular deck. You're usually just going to make one at a time, but it's still really good as a board wipe in this particular deck. We then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, and finally a single copy of IP to make Unicorn during the opponent's turn, which is the only Link monsters that we're playing in this deck. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Kashtira before, you definitely should give the deck a try, especially with the second wave of support right around the corner, and with how powerful it's actually going to be. This deck is going to be tier 1, and it's just super fun to be able to play right now as a rogue contender, and it's actually going to be insane once we get the new support out of Photon Hypernova. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.